Welcome back behind enemy lines with Terry and Mike. Oh my God, it's been kind of a crazy week or so. Um, for our country, for me and Mike, I've been traveling, moving, working on some legal paperwork for those of you from Illinois for some appeals, some Illinois Board of Election fund that's coming up. So those in my circle, you know what that means. I've been very, very busy on this legal paperwork, but it'll all work out very well. So we're going to talk about the latest assassination. Well, we say it's the third one, but it's not really. Mike's going to talk about that, but it's the I
Yeah.
guess there's been three prominent ones, right, that we know of, and then there's been several other ones that haven't been quite as prominent. And I think everybody agrees that they're going to keep trying till they kill Trump, man.
Yeah.
And I really believe that.
Yeah. And, I actually forgot about some of these. It's been three where they've come close.
Hmm.
Obviously, Butler, PA, down at Mar-a-Lago with the Ukrainian sniper in the on the golf course. And then most recently, this other wacko teacher from California. But there was actually one back in 2017, some guy with a forklift, some mentally deranged guy. But he got stuck on a fence, so he didn't get close. And then the other ones are people that were planning things but were arrested before they could happen. But the fact of the matter is, Trump's world record holder now on attempts on his life as a U.S. president, even if you just want to count the three where they got close. Otherwise,
Hmm.
it was Gerald Ford with two. Um, but there's been other ones like I said, in the past, and other people that have been locked up this year just because the left is totally unhinged now. They're just completely out of control.
Hmm.
Not enough's being done about it, in my opinion. We got to start really
Hmm.
taking the threat seriously. But yeah, we got another assassination attempt. And this one, it was actually at the same Hilton hotel that the attempt on Ronald Reagan occurred at, right
Oh
out in front
wow.
of. Yeah. Um, so Reagan was shot right in front of the hotel after leaving. I can't remember if he was doing. I think it was a speech that he'd given there, probably at the same ballroom. Um,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
that's where Hinckley shot him right out front. He was rushed to the hospital. Obviously, he was okay. He actually kind of bounced back stronger than ever because after the assassination attempts, when Reagan really hit his stride and started really going after the Soviet Union, and a lot of his plans were started coming to fruition. But the
Yeah.
fact of the matter is, the left is they're just totally off the rails. We got some clips we'll play later for it, but
Hmm.
once again, meet the woke assassin Cole Allen, anti-MAGA,
Yeah.
anti-Christian manifesto, part of the Wide Awakes group. Attended No Kings rally, confirmed targeted Trump and officials, donated to Kamala Harris through Act Blue. And this is the poster boy. Even his family said this guy was getting more and more unhinged as time went on. Um, Now, there's a
Hmm.
story out there that one of them might have reported him for not directly threats to President Trump, but just for the violence that he was embracing. They thought he was becoming a danger.
Yeah, I knew immediately when we saw on that security camera as he ran past the checkpoint, he wasn't a white guy. He was an African American. I'm like, that guy ran too damn fast to be a white guy. And
Even Trump made a joke about it, actually.
oh, did he really? No. What did he
Yeah.
say? What did he say? He's like, he
Something
was
like
fast. Woo!
yeah, like he should be playing for, I can't remember what team, but, you know, it's so many security failures too. Like I don't. You would think after Butler, PA, they would start really taking things seriously after that many failures, but it doesn't look like they are.
Yeah, and you think about the hotel, from what I heard, they really didn't do very much checks into the people there. They had free reign. Of course, when you go by the security checkpoints for those people that have never been to like a Trump rally or something, I mean, it is pretty much blocked off pretty well, but you're embedded within a hotel, which people can lose track of, tension or something at night. They can plant something, and I think they have to tighten up the security and get more resources to make sure it's fully secure. And I think as they go around those security checkpoints in the future, they're going to make sure there's barricades, more significant barricades, so you can't just run around the magnetometer.
Yeah, I was actually talking to somebody that does security for Mike Lindell that I know from working with him over there, who we went to CPAC with, and him and I were talking about, like, at the very least they could have had. So we were talking about CPAC a few years before that, where Trump did come and speak, because we all got searched multiple times on
Hmm.
Media Row. They went through our bags, they went through everything. And what we were discussing was, even just having barricades where you couldn't see people visually, where in that hotel lobby where this guy was, if they would have had a split off, just a line of even just pop up barricades so you couldn't see through, you couldn't see a target, and you could funnel everybody through there. Then it would have been easier to spot the guys he comes in, because this guy had a shotgun. It wasn't like he had a handgun. He had a Maverick 88 with a 20-inch barrel. So that's
How,
not something you can just like stuff under your arm or tuck in your belt in
yeah.
a little Kydex holster. Sorry, go
How,
ahead.
how did he not get shot?
The Secret Service has what do they call it? Stormtrooper aim, where they just can't hit anything, kind of like the guys in Star Wars.
Because the
Uh,
gunshot. Yeah. So like, what did the guy just say? I give. I mean, those details haven't came out yet, right?
they tackled him, so he shot
Uh huh.
one Secret Service agent, but he hit him in the
Yeah.
vest. The guy was relatively uninjured, is what they said. So I don't know if the guy just had bruising or broken ribs or whatever, but because they just wear soft armor, so it's still like getting hit
Uh,
with a baseball bat. But
I guess
they
they probably had extra caution because there's people in the hallways mingling around and stuff, and they couldn't just shoot, right?
Yeah, they fired 4 times. Doesn't sound like nobody else was hit.
Oh my
Um,
God.
but a Secret Service agent tackled him to the ground and then took the weapons away. And that's also why you see the picture with him without a shirt on and the foil over his ass, because they also ripped his clothes off to make sure he didn't have any other concealed weapons on him.
Wow. Well, so
So,
Trump, I mean, for those of you who saw his face, he was pretty calm and reserved. I guess it's
yeah,
unfortunate he's getting used to this stuff.
yeah, yeah. I kept seeing the first time meme, with the guy being hung, but it's Trump's face on it. First time. Yeah, same with RFK Jr. You can see him, the video with him where he perks up, and then he just kind of sits there. It's like, I've been through this before.
Wow, yeah. And then the beautiful Democratic leftist media's, sneaking their bottles of wine before they leave.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you gotta still you can. That's a socialism. You gotta loot for yourself before you give to your comrades.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things that I want to make sure we talk about is like how radical leftist scumbags are praising this guy, and you know we got that bar up in Wisconsin that's going to have drinks or some free drinks, or whenever he gets assassinated, and that's bullshit. That would have never happened, decades ago, or not even that long ago, regardless if you're a Democrat or Republican. And I really, really, really believe, said this over and over again, the Democrats, the ones in power and control, are trying to push us into a second civil war. They're trying to start
Yep.
their second civil war, without a doubt. For those of you who don't believe it, you got to understand that we're in a war and we're losing, and people on our side have to start acting like we're in a war, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. That's what we do our show to expose it. That's why I go and confront those leftist scumbags at the No Kings rally, or the ICE Center. And when I say confront, so I guess I'm supposed to try to stop swearing as much as I do in our show. It's going to be hard. I'm going to try. We'll try. So it's a
Well,
broader audience, Mike. I was told. And then when I confront these people, I do go off once they start, attacking me verbally or sometimes physically. And I'm going to try to like tone it down a little bit and let them just make assholes of them. Oop, I just swore again. Make fools
well,
of themselves. And
well. You can hold off on toning it down until next episode, because I've got a video coming up of a bunch of the leftist reactions, and they're certainly not toning back on the swearing.
cool. Well, yeah, let me know when you do it. Oh, so yesterday I went to Broadview, the Broadview Ice Center that's been all over the news.
Hmm.
And I think we covered it before we showed that Antifa pig that spit in my face, Raven Gary.
Yep.
And I had to go pick her out of a photo lineup yesterday. And figures, it was broken. They told her to
What,
come
really?
back. Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta be.
So I guess yeah. So I guess there's some hardware, something that pulls out images of the person, the assailant, and then they match it up to something similar, and I have to point that person out. I will never forget that pig. I think anyone that saw the videos will never be able to forget what that pig looks like. So I'm just waiting for them to fix it, and then once they do that, they're going to put out a warrant for her arrest. So I'm sure some of her scumbag friends are probably watching this, so give her a heads up. And she's lucky. Being arrested is better than a crack in the face. So
Yeah. Well, the machine probably didn't work because it's probably not used to adjusting images with farm animals. So
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
system
yeah,
probably went down. Yeah, here's another thing on this shooter. White House Correspondents' Dinner shooters' tweets found suggesting radicalization fueled by Democrat messaging. They're just looking at what he retweeted, all these conspiracy theories, and this is what was in his manifesto too. He said part of why he was targeting Trump is he's a rapist and a sex offender, and he's covering up for Epstein. All these talking points we keep hearing from the left, but some of these are unforced errors. I don't know why we aren't prosecuting the all the pedophiles from Epstein
Epstein.
Island, but that's
Yeah.
part of what's fueling this rage on the left right now.
Yeah, for any of those that have not been to counter protests, the No Kings or whatever these whack jobs have, they always yell at us and say, "You support a rapist, you support a pedophile, you support a murderer." All that shit's lies. All of it's lies.
Yeah,
And the Epstein, oh, this is a diversion for Epstein. It's like, hold on, scumbags. You guys had control of the Epstein files before Trump. And think about if you have any inkling of any common sense whatsoever, you would have known they would have released whatever they had on Trump before he came into office. Matter
yeah,
of fact, even if they had something that was a little bit slightly suspicious, they would spit it into something bigger and would have released it. They have nothing, you guys. They have nothing on Trump as it relates to Epstein being a pedophile, doing anything wrong. It's all Democrats. It's all Democrats with a couple peppered in idiot Republicans that got involved.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, yeah, there are a few people in Trump's orbit that were involved, like Howard Lutnick, unfortunately, um, and the Kushner family. There's others that had dealings with Epstein, but it's it's going to be 98% on the left, and then it's a few Republicans, and even a lot of them. It's going to be prior to his first arrest, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You may or may not have known what was going on prior to his first arrest, especially if you were just had regular business dealings, if you were a bank or a loan administrator or investment banker or whatever. Uh, you weren't necessarily going out to Pedophile Island for private parties or out to Zorro Ranch to murder hookers or whatever it is they did out there. Um, so we've got to look at this stuff realistically. But the bottom line is a lot of these powerful people, from Bill Gates to Prince Andrew to whoever else,
Yeah.
they all need to be prosecuted. I just don't understand why they're waiting, because the situation is only going to continue to get worse until we see some arrests there.
Well, we're running out of time. We're already ran out of time because the Republicans are losing their little baby balls that they have anyway,
Yeah,
because we're getting close to, election cycle. And they're going to, they know Trump is done, right? They know he's done. They're going to start quickly doing a 180. Some of them already have, right? So I
yeah,
mean, we've missed a boat. If you think what happened when Biden took office and how many, they started arresting everybody. Steve Bannon, the J6ers, innocent J6ers. Yes, those that fought with police should have been arrested for fighting with police. But basically, if that happens in Chicago, they're lucky if they even get arrested, let alone trying to give them 5, 10 years in prison and make them out to be a terrorist.
yep,
And nothing. We got nothing, man. And I don't know what the hell's happening. Is there something that we don't know? Is there something that they're waiting for? But they got to make some arrests, because if they don't, then people are not going to be um, scared to do it again in further elections on both sides.
yeah. I mean, I don't understand why they can't just pass the SAVE Act. I mean, this is the one that kills me right now. That you've got four rhinos in Congress holding it up, pretending that we need a 60-vote majority, when in reality they ought to just end the filibuster or go back to a real standing filibuster and end the zombie filibuster. Go back to actually making them give floor speeches, and then it's just a
Mm.
straight up and down vote. Um, pretending this is some sacred tradition that can't be changed is going to kill us. And again, the SAVE
They're going
Act
to
is
do it
something.
on us. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
No,
they're going to keep making excuses. Yeah,
yeah. Do you know off the top of your head who those four rhinos that refuse to do what like
yep.
80% of the country wants? Do you know their names?
Tom Tillis, um, Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, and oh, what is her name up in Maine? Um, Susan Collins. Those are the four
Oh,
that
wow,
said
the
that.
worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Those fucking creeps. I mean, are they going to be primary? McConnell's going to die any day. That guy doesn't even know where the hell he's at. I mean, the
No.
guy's an idiot. You know, what I mean, he's a weak man. I mean, he's such a weak man. I don't know how the hell he got in that position in the first place. He's not very sharp. I don't care what any of these Republicans say about this guy. He's a
Yep.
very soft man, and he's got no balls. Then we got that bimbo from Maine who's really a Democrat.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that she's very safe up there. She's very safe, unfortunately. But we need to call those people out. They're not Republicans, and how could I mean they don't go along with 80% of what the country wants.
Yeah. Yeah, it kills me. And with Murkowski, they spent $9 million in the Senate campaign fund when she was running against another Republican in Alaska, so that she could keep her seat. You had Kelly, I always forget her last name, but she was a good conservative American from Japanese descent. Her family moved over here after World War II. They started a big fishing company up there. And she's proud to be an American. She was a real patriot. But we spent $9 million to make sure Murkowski could keep her seat and that she couldn't win, instead of spending on other races in 2022 that we could have won and picked up seats at. I just don't
Wow.
understand it.
Yeah, yeah, we're going to get destroyed in the midterms. I think a lot of it's because people are going to be frustrated. A lot of it's going to be because we lost the battle for hearts and minds of ICE. That was a winning proposition for us. But then, we let the media control the narrative and the lies, the propaganda that was able to turn some of the folks that came over from the left or the center to support us, right? And then the media
Yeah.
just kept pumping the lies in and lies in about poor innocent asylum seekers or the bullshit like the SBLC. I know we're going to talk about that next week or maybe a little bit later. I mean,
Yeah.
they're propaganda machines of the left, and to me, the media, the SPLC, things like that are our biggest enemies. I mean, it's our biggest enemy. I mean, yes, China and communist money and socialism and stuff, but they control the media, and that's what's really hurting us because we don't have enough to counter. We have podcasts like ours, we have big podcasts like other people, but it just doesn't get out there in the way it needs to help people see the truth that's going on.
Well, yeah, and these lies from the media are literally making people insane. Look at this assassin. That's what he believed. He believed all this nonsense that we hear on CNN and MS Now and through things like the New York Times podcast. I mean, they've got Hassan Piker working over there right now at the New York Times doing these exposés. He's literally calling for blood in the streets, for Democrats to go out and kill conservatives, to kill the fascists. And this is
Is
who
he
they
really?
promote.
Oh, we got to do a show on that prick.
Yeah.
We got to
Oh,
do a
yeah, we
show on it.
should.
I saw some of the crazy stuff that he's doing, and we have to counter it. I mean, if anybody said, remember when Obama was a president, if you put in anything that's a little slightly insulting, you're a racist, let
Yeah.
alone just outright calling to kill him, right? I mean, they're bragging about killing him, killing us.
Yeah, something else I saw brought up earlier today is a little off topic with Obama, but there was one assassination attempt on Obama while he was in office. It was a Hispanic guy that did it. He shot at the White House while Obama wasn't even there. I think he was about a quarter mile out, they said, from a rooftop in D.C. Took a couple
I
shots at the
remember that.
White House. Yeah, they were trying to pretend the whole time he was in office that we had the scourge of white supremacy. I mean, that's where a lot of this started. I feel like race relations were much, much better in the early 2000s and the late 90s. And then Obama exploited that. It could have
Absolutely.
been a unifying moment for the country, but instead we went the other direction. We have this hyped up pretend racism, as we're going to dive into the SPLC more probably on Thursday. But the supply of racism could not meet the leftist demand of racism, so the SPLC had to subsidize it. They had to pay for Klan members and actual racists, Aryan Brotherhood, Nazis, whoever else. They are sponsoring them so they could then cover that and go ask for more donations. They spent $3 million and made $87 million in donations. So a great return on their money.
Yeah, for those of you who are not familiar with the book called Hate Pays, that's on the Southern Poverty Law Center. Actually, a guy I know, Tyler O'Neill, and that's somebody we'll talk about in greater detail on Thursday. But I met with them, and I met with Senator Mike Lee, Holly, uh, Matt Gates' staff, all kinds of people. We'll go through some of those names back into 2023. And if you've been following this when it first came out, even the acting attorney general said, well, there was an investigation in 2023, but it stopped. It was under the Biden administration. I was there meeting with them. I was one of the representatives of the parents that have been targeted by the weaponization of the DOJ in collaboration with the Southern Poverty Law Center. Every meeting we had, we discussed the Southern Poverty Law Center. I had the first story the Southern Poverty Law Center wrote about me. And what they do is they try to come after even somebody that's a nobody like myself that was speaking out at the school boards. I was just aggressive, more aggressive than most, right? And it got on their radar. And then if you learn about Antifa and those scumbag pussies, they say to go after people even before they become relevant because you don't want them to become relevant, right? So that's how I got on their radar. Shannon Adcock from Awake, Illinois. I'm going to try to get her to come on the show as well with us. She was a targeted. Moms for America, Parents Involved in Education, and then they label us all as Nazis, right? We hate everybody. I put a funny meme, which I'll show, about Dennis Rodman. Remember when the war started out in with Ukraine, and Rodman was going to go and save that Olympic basketball player? I put a meme that I got off the internet that looked like just like Rodman. Of course, it was it was exaggerated, but it looked like his ugly boot-lipped ass. I mean, it looked just like him. And
Yeah.
so he put that in the story, but I think it's been since been removed. But he said that I put up a character from the pre-Civil War area representing racism. He put in the story Alex Stein, Alex Stein, the comedian, a picture of
Yes.
me and him. He put in the story with Fogiato Blow, the Christian rapper, Trump's nephew, all tattooed up, looks like a gang member. He's a Christian rapper, doesn't even swear. And so they really like reach as far as they can to come after us. And he did another story. And we're going to talk about there's so many things. I mean, that's part of our battle that people don't know. It's part of our
Yeah.
war, right? They're winning. This is the fifth generation warfare, and they're kicking our ass. They're kicking our ass.
Yeah.
We got a little edge with the podcast stuff, but they're really quickly getting involved in that, and they have help from the big media outlets, so they're going to catch up on that, guys.
Yeah. Dude, we ought to try to get Tyler O'Neill on with us on Thursday because I've got his
I'll
email and
try.
everything.
Yeah, no, I got it on my cell. I mean, I'll try. The Heritage Foundation. He had to get approval from his boss because when
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
part of it were Proud Boys, all that crap. In the Southern Poverty Law Center, and it's like, come on, Tyler, you're doing exactly what they want. Yeah, I mean, you're letting them get away with the narrative because they got the big donors and stuff.
Yes.
So they're very, very conservative. But hopefully now, with everything that came out, I'll reach out to him. Um,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. I mean, he's the chief editor or something.
I've had him on forever ago, but it's because he's friends with Steve Friend. He was a regular on Steve's show, and I produced that. But
Yeah.
I guess to get us back on track here, Erica Kirk was there too at this event. She rushed out. Erica Kirk rushed out of White House Correspondents' Center after shooting. I just want to go home, and of course the left are attacking her too, saying, "Oh, those are fake tears. She was just doing this for the media." But if she would have come out and she wasn't crying, then it'd be, "Oh, she's some heartless bitch."
Cold.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. You can't win either way. And again, I feel terrible for her. After what happened to her husband, who was also murdered by a violent leftist with a trans furry boyfriend. Um,
Yeah.
Her going through this, I'm sure it hit a lot harder than most people in that room. I'm sure it's flashbacks right to what happened to Charlie.
Yeah. It's right wing extremists are the ones that are the most violent. They say they keep saying that over and over and over and over again. In
Mm.
reality, I think they took that away from the right wing. Racist.
Yeah.
There is no Nazis. I don't even. I mean, yeah, there's Nazis, but they're um, not
It's
like there
12
was in the
guys in a
'60s.
trailer park in
They're
Alabama.
and first of all, Nazis are Democrats. First of all, right? Democrats started it. They haven't been around since the Democrats had their Klan meetings back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and they started dying off in the 70s. And so the Democrats kind of lost their little strong arm guys. Now they got Antifa that filled in and backfilled for the Nazis. That's exactly who Antifa is. They're Nazis. They're not racist Nazis, but they are. You don't see very many black people, hardly any. 99% of them are lily white, pasty white, drug addict looking freaks, man, with a couple of, brown skinned people at best.
Yeah, I'm about to pull up some pictures of the 1924 Democrat convention. Are you familiar with this? The
You
Klan
got
bake
the
is what they called
KKK.
it. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Show that, and we need to do. Our side needs to do that more and more often to remind these idiots, especially the African American community that votes for these scumbags.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying this for years now. The left has always been the party of racism. It's just the target of their aggression changes over the years. Originally it was blacks and following the Civil War, and then again during segregation. But it was the Jews in the 1920s and 30s, and the Irish,
Don't forget
and
the
the Italian.
Italians.
Yep. The
The biggest lynching in America's history was 12 Italians in New Orleans.
yeah.
Did you know that? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that one, but
Oh my God, you're a walking encyclopedia. Yeah, I think you're a racist if you don't know that. Then what the hell?
well, they've just done that well suppressing the facts. But yeah, this is a picture from the 1924 Democrat National Convention in Vermont. And sorry,
Wow.
guys, that wasn't Vermont. I'm pretty sure it was Vermont, but I forgot to check. Um, yeah, and again, like it says on there, you can Google it. That's not the only picture. There's another one with all their kids in little Klan outfits. And this is who they've always been. We're just
It's an
seeing it resurface
SPLC
again now.
picnic. Yeah,
Yeah,
SPLC picnic.
uh, it's probably true. Don't give them any ideas.
The
They'll be
Klan
doing
bake.
that next. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What else here? I'm trying to think. I was so unprepared for this. My laptop died with all my notes on there.
Well, we got this. We got CNN pundit claimed Trump wants us dead just before the attack. That's a S.E. Cup.
Oh,
I
I
don't know
hate
what
that
happened to
bitch.
her.
She's supposed to be a Republican. She
She used
was.
to be. Yeah. She also used to be cute before she looked like her, shaved head bull
She,
tyke.
she became a Democrat. I mean, you got that's the thing. You got to put on some weight, become heavier than the men. Go ahead.
Pretty much. Jimmy Kimmel 2 days ago. Melania has a glow like an expectant window. This is what they think passes for humor. This is his little fake White House correspondence thing from his failing show. There's obviously a lot of pressure on Disney and everyone else to get rid of him now. But again, it's nothing new for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, he needs to be kicked
Pritzker.
in the teeth.
Yeah, let's just throw him out
Pritzker.
on Skid Row in L.A. The homeless can eat him alive. Pritzker defends Trump Nazi comparison after third assassination attempt. Much of what I've said has been proven to be true. This is what they're running with. They justify
Wow.
it.
You hear
Yeah,
that, people from Illinois? You hear that? We got to aggressively put this in their face, man, when this pig tries to get reelected.
yeah. Well, the problem is the Democrats don't care. I mean, they're just soulless at this point. It's anything for power. The View
Oh, I
relished
hate
Trump
her.
and his cabinet felt the fear for their lives during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And then they try to push gun control because it's never the assassin, it's guns. That's the reason. The gun made him do it.
Wow. Yeah, she used to be a Republican too, remember? Supposed to be,
Did
remember?
she?
Oh
No, not
yeah,
with her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She was early on when I was like, well, she used to, and then she changed parties, and she never was. Some of these people do it just for a media spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about Anna Navarro, but I wouldn't
And
be
I'm telling you,
surprised.
no, she was a Republican. I'm telling you, she was a
You're probably
Republican.
right.
You guys, look it up. Look it up.
Oh, you're probably right. Here, I got a video for you here in a second, but I got two other ones for you real fast. Cincinnati teacher posts video expressing disappointment that Trump assassination attempt failed. Now, I've heard she's since been fired. We also this guy, Wisconsin high school teacher, placed on administrative leave after whining that the shooter failed to assassinate the president. You already talked about that bar owner up there too, who was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, well, I guess I won't be able to give out free drinks this time. They didn't get him."
he's a big pack, Democratic ties to PACs, big time, big time. I just saw that before we jumped on the show. And I know a bunch of people are going to be going up there from Illinois, Mike,
Yeah,
to his
yeah.
bar.
Well, hopefully it burns down with him in it. Um,
I posted
uh,
on one of the posts, I said maybe we should go there right before closing. A little subtle undertone.
yeah, yeah. Just stand in there, refuse to leave. That works
No,
too.
no, no. Follow him to his car.
That works too. Make him feel a little unsafe,
Yeah.
since they don't
Yeah. Go up
care.
there and act like Democrats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at them. That family, the three Democrats that assaulted Savannah Hernandez, they're now out there crying that they feel unsafe because people keep telling them we're going after their employers and harassing them and sending them mean messages online. After
that was their
assaulting
standard MO. Yeah.
Yeah. After assaulting this, 5 foot tall, 90-pound chick, they now feel like they're unsafe because of threats online. Give me a break.
Yeah, I'm going to show when we do the show on Thursday. I'm going to show you some of the shit that these Antifa and the SPLC guys did to my employer. I work for a big international consulting firm out of Paris, France. Woke as woke can be. And they kept tagging my CEO, our customers CEOs, conferences, right? And they used that Southern Poverty Law Center as a tool. They weaponized it, right?
Yeah.
They weaponize everything is planned, coordinated, tied together. They hand it off to their little Antifa bitches. And they use that to try to stifle our voices when they control most of the media. That's why they hate this little podcast, and they hate anybody that has a little voice that's trying to get to the people to expose the truth. That's why I was on the wanted list, right? For going to the ICE Center. All podcasters, pretty much, right? They don't want us to have a voice to show the truth.
Yeah, they want a monopoly on the narrative, and anybody that stands against them, they get a bullseye on their back. I got a video to show you guys, and if you got kids in the room or whatever, there's a lot of foul language in this. There's a bunch of unhinged, blue-haired moonbats, and before we get to it, too, I am aware one of these videos is older. It's from one of the other Trump assassinations, but this is from Asmongold. You guys aren't following him online. He does a lot of great work, and he reaches out to a lot of younger viewers, and he's waking a lot of people up. So if you see him, share his videos, but here you go.
John Wilkes Booth, if you can hear us.
John Wilkes Booth, if you can hear us, if you are with us, please. John Wilkes Booth, if you're listening.
Can you imagine being John Wilkes Booth and you successfully pulled off an assassination of the president and you get summoned into the year 2026 by this obese troll?
Let me get this straight. Dumbass! Have a fully reloaded shotgun, but you chose to use a one-bullet.
We're not even sending our best to fucking assassinate. Cause what the hell was that? Lee Harvey Oswald
Maybe they should drop you on them like a bomb.
would never, bitch. John Wilkes Booth would never.
Today was like this close to being the best day ever.
Also, the person that at Trump at his rally was exercising that right that all those Republicans were fighting for. So
What, to shoot a random firefighter? I forgot. That's in the Bill of Rights. This is in the Second Amendment. It says you have the right to shoot random firefighters at a political rally.
It's coming. We're all gonna wake up one morning and roll over and grab our phones, and that fucking headline's gonna be right there.
If I see any one of you and I have a loaded shotgun, I'm putting it between your eyes. It starts with Trump first, obviously, and then it goes down the line of power. So if any of you guys are coming across my path and I happen to see you, it will be your last.
So this is the thing, is that why are people like this? Why are they not getting arrested? When one or two people start saying this, more people start saying it because they think it's okay. And then you have everybody saying it, and now you have a huge problem.
God damn it, they missed again. Who doing the fucking shoot?
Pulling the trigger unless you fucking have the shot. This whole active shooter thing in the White House Correspondents' Dinner has got to be a setup. Somebody sat back and planned this for months and didn't get a single person. You thought about this for how long and didn't hit a single person and then got apprehended?
Because he's stupid. And also the Secret Service are really good at their job.
Immediately. There's no fucking way. This feels like a complete stunt to me.
I think people think that this is like a Jason Bourne movie where like he's going to be able to figure it out, track out all this stuff. You know what Jason Bourne's working for? The Secret Service. You're not going to get by these guys whenever they have infinite resources and power.
This man is stunting on us yet again because so many of his followers and believers believed it the first time.
How much do you want to believe that this girl believes in horoscopes?
Like, for those of us who have awoken and opened our eyes and actually understand.
I told you. That's crazy. 2 minutes.
Because I know this shit is staged. I know it is.
You know it's staged. I know it's staged because it didn't work. Again, this is the leftist Schrodinger's assassin. If it works, he deserved it. If it doesn't work, it was staged. That's it. Oh, this is even Alex Jones.
Everybody's asking me whether or not I think the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night in D.C. was staged. And the long and short of it is, no. You had too many of the D.C. police, Secret Service, all of them involved. The very small percentage of those guys are corrupt. I say right up front in the first minute that I don't think it's staged. Saying, you traitor like Candace Owens, how dare you say it? I don't think Candace Owens even commented yet. You guys just just froth. Anybody that ever questions anything Trump does, you've got to do your own research. You've got to look at the facts.
I've really got to, like, if I ever meet Alex Jones or go on his show, which, you know, there's a possibility that could happen, you know, I will say that communication has happened. I've got to ask him how he feels that he's now been outflanked. There are people who are even more conspiratorial than he is. You've lived long enough, you've been in the game long enough that people have totally gone even past it.
Does that mean that, you know, he's involved? I mean, just come on, folks. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at my good friend's wedding. Paulie Panagas, shout out to you, buddy. And a friend of mine, ex-military guy, thinks it was staged, and he's a Republican. And I'm like, what the? You know, no, it wasn't staged. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was the person when I first started this chapter of my life about the politics and stuff. I didn't believe in these massive conspiracy theories, which I am believing in now. So I'm not like, I mean, it's like there's so much more that is true that we don't know. And I learned from the show and from the guests and from Mike and all these different people. But there's some people out there that everything is a damn conspiracy, every single thing. And it's you got to have a little bit of common sense.
Yeah, I mean, like the only conspiracy I believe in around any of these shootings, that there's probably connections to the intelligence agencies with Butler, PA. There's too many things with that one that just don't add up. But I don't think the shooting was staged or anything like that. I think they tried and missed that. God was on Trump's side. And again, if he had just turned his head a few degrees to either side, it would have gone right through his skull. Instead, he got nicked in the ear. You know, he got extremely lucky. God is looking out for him for a reason. But it certainly wasn't staged. Same with the other ones. Ryan Routh, you know, he would not have been found if Secret Service hadn't patrolled the golf course before Trump went out there. He had a rifle barrel sticking through the fence. They spotted it. He took some shots at him, ran away, and then got nailed by, I think it was the Florida State Troopers as he tried to get away. But yeah, these certainly are not staged. This guy is, you know, a deranged leftist moonbat teacher, and you know that's really where the conversation needs to go. White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting should force a serious conversation about the teacher's bias in K-12 through education and college, for that matter. I mean, our entire educational system is just a cesspool of leftists. You guys, this Friday up there in Illinois, they're taking the day off so the teachers and their students can go out and protest ICE in the streets. They're having a big May Day thing nationwide. They're doing the same thing in Wisconsin. But there's a call for it across the whole country to have students out protesting the street, you know, weaponizing your children. And this is what the left does. They have their mentally deranged moonbats in control of our schools, and they are trying to weaponize your children, or our children, against us.
Yeah, they're weaponized with our own tax dollars. With our own tax dollars. You know, Downers Grove North High School. My kids went to Downers Grove South. I was just up there about 3-4 months ago. They had Marxist, socialist scumbags had a table set up right in front of the school's front doors. And they're handing out propaganda and trying to recruit the students. So you got the school, you got the little street, and you got the parking lot. Why the hell wasn't a teacher out there saying, get the heck out of here? Get out of here. You know, they didn't. They let it happen. Matter of fact, they knew it was happening because they put out flyers ahead of time asking the kids to walk out of school a little early. Thank God when I got there was only about 8 purple-haired, as you would say, moonbats, right? Gay people, LGBT, trans, you know, the typical whack jobs that you see. And there was only like about 8 of them, right? So that, to me, that was a good sign. You know, if I was going there and I was that age, I would have been leaving as well just to get out of school if I didn't believe in it. You know, so that was a good sign. But they're sitting there they're actually trying to recruit. And this is in front of us, right? They're using the schools in front of us and behind our backs to use our own tax dollars to brainwash and indoctrinate our children.
Yeah, dude, in Florida, of all places, they were doing this. Now, this isn't for the upcoming one. This was something else a few weeks ago, and we covered it. But the teachers union, they got a bunch of the schools in Florida to make it an assignment for the kids to go out and protest and show up. I don't remember if it was at a No Kings rally or it was their own little stupid event. But yeah, they forced the kids to go out and protest against ICE and against Trump and whatever. And they made it, gave them a grade for it. So if you stand up to them or you push back, then your grades suffer, and that's part of the problem. Is we've seen numerous videos of this, especially with high school students pushing back, where these teachers just lose their minds when they get any resistance. They start yelling at the students, calling them names, and they just lose it because they can't cope. These people are deranged. They shouldn't be teaching our children. We've got to get them all out of our schools. And we've got to get the schools back to actually teaching reading, writing, arithmetic, our actual history, not this 1619 project bullshit. And we've got to stop the politicization and weaponization of our kids. They should not be indoctrinated to this leftist nonsense where they leave communists and then wonder why their life fails.
Yeah, and I don't want to call teachers in general, and most teachers, not in general, most teachers are not civil servants. They're worried about their asses, their pensions, their unions more so than the kids that they teach. Not
Yeah.
all of them, but most of them. Back when I was in school, they were civil servants. They didn't make what they had now. They did it for the
Yep.
care and love and passion of teaching children and stuff. Now it's a job, which is great. Everyone should get paid for what they do. But these scumbags are overpaid. They have the most expensive benefits. They're doing a horrible job in general across the whole country. They're doing we keep dropping in our rankings against other countries, and Illinois is it's a shithole. I mean,
Yeah.
it's horrendous. They have some schools I saw in Chicago are on reading 6% at level and maths 4% at level, which is crazy. I mean, how do they not just fire all the teachers and replace them with other teachers as well as the administration?
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how it's gotten this bad. Nothing's been done. And unfortunately, I disagree a little. And I think the majority of teachers in big cities now are there for political reasons, political purposes. They're there to indoctrinate kids. They're not there. Now, I know there's
No,
plenty of
I
rural
agree
areas.
with you. No, you don't disagree. That's what I said. I hope you didn't misunderstand me. No,
Okay.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still some people doing it for the right reasons, and you can go to some rural school districts that are just fine, that don't have a bunch of these, weaponized wine moms, blue-haired moonbats, whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, we've got to get these people out of the education system. They're not there to educate your kids. They're there to indoctrinate them, and they're there to make them, slaves to the left for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, people, parents that are watching this show, you got to get involved, man. You got to get involved politically. You can't, there's not enough of us fighting. The left is so organized. They got Act Blue, they got Indivisible, they got money, they got the unions, and especially in Illinois, it's just awful. It's horrendous. We have no leadership, no money. We don't have people involved. We got to try to figure out a way to motivate and excite our people to fight